Thanks for watching Afternoon Live. Our next guest is both a travel writer and a self-proclaimed runaway bride whose journey around the world has had many ups and downs, or takeoffs and landings, as she would call them. Now she joins us with her new memoir, Call You When I Land. We welcome Nikki Vargas. Great to meet you, Nikki.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
What a story. You have lived a lot of life. The book jumps in about 10 years ago, where you're sort of avoiding your wedding and the planning process. You're on a solo trip in South America. How does this all come about?
Yeah, so it finds me, as you said, right on the verge of getting married. I'm about a week away from this big New York wedding, and I decide to run away to Argentina, to the jungles of Argentina and Iguazu National Park. And I have this sort of clandestine meeting with myself in the jungle where I literally scream into the trees, I don't want to get married. And I ended up going back to New York and calling it off and flipping my entire life upside down, not only to make my love life look more like me, but also in pursuit of this career of wanting to be a travel writer and editor. And that journey, which I detail in the book, really takes some unexpected twists and turns.
How did you find that courage to call things off and completely change your life just a week or so ahead of the wedding? I think a lot of people have those feelings, but they go through with it because they don't want to disappoint their loved ones.
Yeah, it was really scary. And I think part of the reason it took me until the very last minute to make that decision was because I was avoiding it. And I was avoiding myself, and I didn't want to disappoint people. And it took me such a long time, as I detail in the book, to get to this point of no return where it was just, this is it. Either I'm going to go down this path or I'm going to pull myself off of it. And it was very, very scary, but I think it speaks to the power of travel to be able to step outside of your comfort zone and find time alone with yourself to have those difficult conversations.
For sure. And you got that travel bug very early in your life. You talk about your dad being a big influence. How does this translate the timeline from dreaming of traveling as a kid to pursuing a real career in travel writing?
Well, I always had a love of travel. I grew up with such an appreciation for it. It was something that was instilled within my family. But that love of travel paired with my passion for writing when I was in college, and it was something that I started to pursue. And in the very beginning, traveling was really a means of running away from my reality. But then after the wedding was called off and I sort of flipped my life upside down, it became a career, and it became a means of exploring people's stories in the context of this beautiful destination that I was traveling in. And that is something that I still do today as a senior editor at Photos Travel. My entire career is about not only encouraging travel, but introducing readers to stories around the world and the people in these destinations.
You have so many twists and turns in this book and throughout your life. Tell me about your great aunt back in Colombia that you went to investigate her mysterious death at one point, and what did you end up finding out?
Yeah, that is definitely one of the more unexpected parts of this travel memoir, Call You When I Land. And I'm originally from Bogota, Colombia. I immigrated here when I was at a young age. And my understanding of Colombia was very, very varied. I had this very surface level understanding of its great food and music and everything. But on the flip side, I would hear these stories about family members that were being pushed out of the country because of the civil unrest and what was happening with FARC at the time. And my great aunt, she was living in Santa Marta outside of Cartagena, and she was kidnapped and actually found dead on the side of the road in the mountains of Santa Marta. And her murder is something that remained unsolved and haunted me since I was a little girl. So when I became an adult and I became a journalist, I flew to Bogota to actually interview ex-FARC fighters, to speak to politicians, to speak to her surviving daughter, and to try to get some answers about what had happened to my great aunt. And that is a real storyline in my memoir, where I'm exploring my own Colombian heritage in the context of also exploring this larger mystery in the context of the country's political situation.
It is an incredible story. Thank you so much for chatting with us today. Congratulations on the book.
Thank you so much. It is an honor to join you.
The book again is Call You When I Land. We'll have more information on our website at katu.com. We'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this.